dose of hot takes, plot twists, and unfiltered book talk with your favorite romance-obsessed besties, Maddie and Kyla. Hello.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody.
Episode 11.
Heck yeah. We're going to talk to you guys about our TBRs.
I know. I've always had such a long list, and then we started this, and I feel like it's just gotten longer, and I just put all the books on from my personal TBR onto this TBR, except for my series, I guess. I
did the same thing. And I was actually going through our TBR list today, and I noticed that I had put a couple series on there that were definitely more than 3 books. And so I just dragged them to the bottom because I was like, I don't want to take it off.
Yeah, we just know that series can get complicated, but we are doing the Empyrean series, so I feel like we have to keep up with, and we did Quicksilver, so I have to keep up with that one.
Yeah, we'll have to do a couple of them. I was interested. I know that we're going to talk about the ritual in a different episode, but I didn't realize coming to the end of that one, I thought it was a series. I didn't realize that each of those were just standalones in
the same world.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I knew that she had a couple, but yeah, I didn't realize they were in a series. But... Yeah. More on the ritual later.
Yes. Where would you like to begin?
Well, what's one that you I had a sentence and then I didn't have a sentence. It disappeared on me. What's one that's been on your TBR for a long time? You just haven't gotten around to it.
There's one called, I'm not sure how long it's been out, but there's a writer named B.A. Paris, and I believe I read a series or a standalone by that same author a few years back and adored it. And then they wrote Bring Me Back, and I believe it's a standalone, but it's one I've been dying to read. And I don't even honestly know what the book is about, but I love the author so much and the way that they write that I just want to read it.
All right. That's fair. I'm now trying to go through mine to see which one has been on there for a while. Which is funny because some of these I have on here and I've definitely purchased them, but I have not read them yet. Love that for me.
True. We haven't had a lot of time to read personal options with all the reading that we've been doing for the pod.
We haven't. Just because we've been so caught up in reading what we're reading for this. Mm-hmm. One that I have wanted to read for a while, and I don't even know when the book came out, but it was Legends and Lattes, which I believe I put on our TBR.
I think it is on our TBR.
Mm-hmm. It's like a D&D-esque book, but it's supposed to be really like chill, like a really chill, just nice read.
Okay. Interesting.
2022, so not that old.
No, not bad. I honestly, a lot of the ones that we have read in the last few weeks were on my TBR list, so we've kind of ticked off a lot of the ones that I had on there.
Not that they weren't on mine either, but like, because like the ritual was on my TBR list for a while.
That one was on mine too.
But
Does It Hurt was also on mine for a long time.
And I didn't even know
around to it until you and I started this. So
yeah, that's funny because it's a book that I didn't even know existed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I started a TBR mostly because I get those like TikTok videos of people recommending books, and I'm like, oh, that one looks so good.
So many good ones.
And so I throw them onto my TBR to remember to buy them, and then I regularly don't even check the list. I just purchase books because I'm such a mood reader, and then I find out that they were on my list.
That's so funny. Honestly, I want to do one of the... Have you seen those book... they go around on social media a lot. Like somebody will post a story and they say, if you reply to this story, then you'll give them your address and they'll send you a book, and then you'll do something and post it on your story. Whoever responds to that, you send them a book, and it gets like
Oh, okay.
cycled out through everybody, and everybody's supposed to receive a book. I've done that so many times, and I have sent out probably 3 or 4 books. I've never received one back, but I would love to. Just random recommends from people. I think it'd be so much fun.
Totally. I saw we kind of talked about this in one of our very early on episodes, how like I really like annotating books but for other people. And I
Hmm.
saw a TikTok for somebody who is starting like a book box like business that does that where they annotate their books and
Oh,
send.
how cool.
I was like, that is super cool. But for me, it's more like a love language. Like I'm
Right.
highlighting something that I specifically think that you would enjoy. So I can't. They couldn't do it as a business, but I was like, that's so neat. I think that's awesome.
That is really cool. A lot. I like annotating a lot. I mean, part of the, I mean, half of the stuff that I highlight in the books that we read are stuff that I relate to. I didn't even
Mhm.
bring it up half the time in our podcast. It's just something that I'm like, yep, I like that. I relate to that. You know?
Right, right. Yeah. Well, and I just like when I don't necessarily do it so much for myself because I can't I couldn't show you a single one of our books that we've read that I actually finished annotating. This is Quicksilver. So much annotation. Dark and Shallow Lies is the same way, where it's like
Hmm.
annotated halfway and then the other half isn't. And it's because I get so into the story that I forget I'm annotating
That happens to me sometimes as well.
too. But when I do it for other people, it's more like oh my gosh, Maddie would love this line. Highlight.
Right. I get that.
That's so funny. I'm trying to think of other series. I haven't because we started doing this and we kind of been backing away from series. I haven't really looked at a whole lot of series that I want to read.
I know that there are 2. There's one on our TBR right now. I, of course, don't remember the name off the top of my head. I should have written it down. It is a dragon riding series, though, and it's like 10 or 11
Mm.
books long, and I want
Jesus.
to read that. I know. I want to read it so bad, though. She was like, it was a TikTok video. If you love Zayden Ryerson and shadows and lightning and dragons, you'll love this one. So, obviously I'm a sucker for Zayden, so had to add that one.
I'm trying to see. Uh, maybe the Plated Prisoner series.
It could be that one.
We have that one or the Kingdom of Lies series on there.
It's one of those 2. Both look extremely good, though. I, I don't know. I like the Dragon Rider series, though. I'm really into the dragony world, I
No,
would say.
I get that. Um, I'm just kind of going through some of these because I know I put some of these. Ooh, Fireborn. That would be a good one.
I want to
That
read
one.
that one so bad.
That one's
There's
on
one
mine
on
too.
there that's also it's a flip book, and I want to read that one too.
Yeah, I see. The Last Days of Polly Hayes. Flip over book.
Yeah, because I've never read a book like that before where you flip it over to get the different perspectives. That would be cool.
Oh, I know what you mean now. Okay, I was like,
Hmm.
what?
I think the way that I understand it at least is that you started at you start at one section and it's one person, and then you would flip it and start it from the end, and it would be somebody else. I don't know actually how flip books work, but it sounds cool.
I'm down. We still have to pick a book. Oh no, we don't have to pick a book after Ritual. Well, we might have to pick a book after Ritual.
Yeah, we might. It just depends on that little thing we didn't want to tell the listeners about yet. Also, that cup is really cute. It has books all over it,
It
guys.
does have books all over it. That's exactly why I chose it. Books and
That is
cat.
so cute. I love that.
That's so funny. Um, so I don't know if you've read the Cruel Prince series. That one is by Holly Black.
I have not, but I know that it's on my TBR because you and I have talked about it before.
I have one of her books on there, The Book of Night, which I think is just I think is a standalone.
Okay.
But The Cruel Prince, I liked that. It was a young adult series, but I liked it. Very
Okay.
very calm romance. I'm down for that every now and then.
That would be fun. I after the ritual would be fine with a calm romance. I
I
can't
wasn't
wait
gonna
to talk
say
about that one
anything,
tomorrow. That one, yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to discuss. I'm excited for
which
that
is so
episode.
funny because this episode will come out after that. So they're gonna,
Right.
they, our listeners will have read that episode and then read this one and be like, "What are they talking about?"
Uh-huh.
Have to go back. No. Um, I also have, which is so funny, I have books on my TBR that I have read in the past, but I want to reread them.
I
Like
do the same thing.
the Aragon series, which is a
I would
I
love to reread that series.
I love that series so much.
Did you hear that that writer actually just came out with another one? Or he's
Mhm.
supposed to be coming out with another one here shortly?
He did. He came out with one last year, which is
Was it
the
last
story of
year?
Murtagh, which is one of the
Yeah.
characters. Yeah, so that is also on my TBR, but I want to reread the whole series before I read that one again.
I would like to too. According to my uncle, he loved it. So
Ugh. I what's crazy is that that series, that author was only like I want to say he was really young
he
when
was
the first books
young.
come out. Yeah. So, good for him.
Did you ever read the book Pillage by Obert Sky when you were younger?
Maybe, but it doesn't sound familiar.
If you're into dragon writing and that type of thing, that's a good one. It definitely is one that I read probably my freshman year of high school. So I was still fairly young, but that was a fun one.
Oh. I have not read this one.
That is a good dragon writing one. It reminds me a lot of Aragon in that way.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that's been on my TBR that I have tried to read, kind of in the realm of dragons, is Priory of the Orange Tree.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
She's a beast. She's thick. And I can't I've gotten 50 pages in each time, and each time I'm like, this is just too much. The book is too heavy for me to carry around, and I give up on it.
That's hilarious.
Which is funny because it's not any more words than Akatar is, or
Mm-hmm.
and I read through the whole Akatar series, but I read the Akatar series on my iPad, so I didn't have to lug around any of the actual books.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm not as into it as I was when I was younger, and I would carry around 7 or 8 books at a time. I can't do it.
It's
The
my
book is
hands for me. I don't know if it's my
yeah,
autoimmune disorder or
yeah.
it's
No, my
my
hand, like
body.
literally, my
Like,
hands cramp up.
yeah, my fingers cramp and they start to hurt from her. Like I was finishing the ritual today and my hands hurt so bad from
I'm so glad I'm not alone in
you're
that,
not.
because
You are not.
it's like I am 27. There's no
Mhm.
reason for me to be so arthritic that I can't hold a book open for a
For
couple
real.
hours.
It's okay. Our
Oh my
carpal
god.
tunnel's kicking in a few years early.
Oh my god. Not fair.
I know.
No, that's so funny. But that's literally the reason I haven't gotten into that book, is because it's just so thick it makes my hands hurt. And maybe I need to just bite the bullet and purchase it on my Kindle and just read it that
Yeah,
way. But
it's not a bad idea. I have considered purchasing yours on Kindle because it's thick. I won't lie to you.
if you get Kindle Unlimited, it's free.
Which I didn't know that Alex and I paid for Prime, so we already have Kindle Unlimited. I could have been doing it this whole time. It's fine.
I got the ritual for free.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could have been doing that this entire time. Which
Yeah,
I do like having a physical copy of the book, but
me too. There are definitely some books that I want a physical copy of.
yeah, oh yeah,
Like
but it
Quicksilver.
is. Mm-hmm. Well, in Fourth Wing, like I like the special editions they come out with too. I like to own those as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which is hard with certain ones like Fourth Wing. There's so many different special editions that I want all of them. But how many editions of one book should a human really own?
That's valid. I don't think Chris would let me, and not just because we don't have the extra budget or bookshelf
Mm-hmm.
space right now to accommodate having special editions. But one day, I'm
One
going to have
day.
a whole ass library.
Would be so cool. I do want to read. I have another friend, and we've discussed her before. She wrote a book as well that's on our TBR. It's called Hush Hush. I want to get to that one at some point as well. I know that it's supposed to be more dark romancy vibes.
No, I'll need a little bit of a break.
Hold on. Yeah, no kidding, right? Let's see. I have the actual physical book here.
I actually just purchased a book called The Aftermath by M.K. Ahern. Simply because I watched a TikTok video, totally got influenced, but it's supposed to be Spencer Reed vibes. The dedication is for everyone who let Spencer Reed live rent-free in their head. And I was immediately like, sold.
Done. Can we read it next? I'll order it right now.
Sure.
Because I love him.
I'll send you a screenshot.
Perfect.
I'm so excited. All right, next book decided. Man, we have plans lined up, but we have to wait for somebody else.
Yes, we are waiting on a third party. I'm excited for that. I've seen that one come up on my TikTok a few different times, actually. And I always love when it's like, to the readers who love.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. But, yeah. And it was so funny is because this was like, I got paid, but, we probably only had like 50 extra bucks in the budget. And I was like, mine. I am buying this book. There's no way you're telling me not to.
I love that. I don't blame you. I'm excited. That one's going to be fun.
I just sent you a screenshot of it so you know which one to grab.
Awesome. I will order it right when we're done here. That's great.
Oh my gosh. I love that. I love that for us.
I'm curious to hear what kind of TBR our readers have, if they are kind of in line with what we read, because we kind of read more smutty, dark romancy stuff, or if you guys are into a little bit of everything, if we have readers that or listeners that are kind of from everywhere.
Where do you even track your reads? Because like I have an Amazon wish list, but I also have a Goodreads, Fable, and Storygraph account because I'm insane. Not that I use all three of them. I think I use Goodreads the most just because my Kindle automatically updates. And then at the end of the year, I transfer everything from my Goodreads to my Storygraph because they link together.
Oh, cool. I've never heard of Storygraph. Is that what you said? I'll have to look into that one. I don't think I've ever heard of it. I do use Goodreads a fair amount of the time.
I almost didn't notice. It was the pause and then the slow close that got me.
I don't know why. All right.
That's so funny.
That's amazing. Oh, goodness.
But yeah, no, I would love to know where you guys pay attention to that. And
yeah, I'm just curious what you guys are into reading if you're listening to our podcast and what we could be reading more of to entice you guys or entice you guys to send in responses and things like that.
And we're totally down for book recommendations. Like that's kind of one of the reasons we started this was to not only share our love of books, but also to get more book recommendations because like our TikTok feed only shows us so much.
Yeah, somebody please give me a good biker MC masked man story. I need something. I have nowhere to go with that. I obviously could Google or chat GPT that, but it's going to give me a shit ton of answers. And I just want somebody to tell me what the best ones are.
That's fair. There was like a whole like 6 months when I was somehow had made it to biker talk, or and I was like, I'm on bike talk I'm here. For sure. I don't know why I'm here, but I'm gonna sit here and enjoy it.
I frequently have the one guy on my For You page who I think he dances, and everybody thinks it's hysterical, but I don't know. I don't know how I got to that side of TikTok either. I show up on like weird sides of TikTok sometimes, like the red spicy side of TikTok, it'll start saying something weird, and I'm like, how the hell did I get?
I've shared some weird videos with
I'm like,
you.
what did I like that brought me to this point?
I know I built this FYP, but I don't remember
Yeah.
placing this brick.
I didn't place this brick. No.
This is how you know that we're chronically online. Oh my god.
Oh Jesus, I know.
But that's so funny. There's actually a guy, you said the one that dances. There's actually a guy in St. George, ow, that dances at red lights. He gets off his bike and he dances at red
I have
lights.
seen that actually. I don't
Yep,
know
he's on social media.
that it was St. George, but
I have personally have not witnessed him in St. George, but I have seen him comment in some of the groups, like the
so
online like Facebook groups and stuff like that, because people will video him, and
that's hilarious.
so yeah, good for them.
Good for
I don't
you.
know if I would ever be bold enough to dance in public like that.
I don't know if I had a helmet on with some
Valid.
some dark lenses. I don't think that I would be too mad at it because my tattoos would have to be covered. Also, you just wouldn't be allowed to know it's me in any
No
way, shape, or
identifying
form.
marks.
Nope. My skin's showing and my face is out. Nope, couldn't do it.
Which is so funny because we do this and we have our own personal TikToks where we try to be more in the public eye. Like I know you've got way more followers than I do, but
it's hilarious because I post way less.
Thanks, TikTok. I can't do that. I'm too millennial for that. But we're in the public eye in that sense, you know, where we're willing, but dancing in public too far. I've said some embarrassing shit on my TikTok. This is way off topic, but
it is. I would like to open up more on my TikTok. I don't have the balls to open up on my TikTok the way I open up here. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. I could post fuck all to our podcast page and give a shit less about what everybody thinks because I don't know. I don't. But posting it to my personal page, no.
I think part of it is because we're here having a conversation together, and then we post it, and then for the most part, we don't look at it. Whereas, I mean, that's not to say I don't check for comments. I look at it at least once a week.
Yeah,
because, like we do like updates, but I mean, I'm not watching every little thing that happens, and like how many views have we gotten on this video, or you know, whatever. Like I just don't watch it as closely as we probably should. But I'm like grateful. Our personal TikToks, we're like, we're on it all day long because we're ridiculous.
Seriously. It's fun. That's where pretty much my entire TBR comes from, honestly, is TikTok and Facebook. I am in a decent amount of book groups on Facebook as well.
So am I. I think I'm in like 3 or 4. And my author page, I have a lot of people who follow that.
Did you want to announce that? We haven't even told them.
I know.
I'm gonna make a post, but I haven't had time quite yet.
Yeah, I guess we can, and I guess I can give you a little more detail into it too. So I am getting picked up by a publisher for my 3rd book, and some stuff that I didn't know as an indie author is like Amazon owns the copies of the book that I have submitted so far, so that's why they can't publish the 1st and 2nd copy. So the plan is once I write the 3rd, because I got to write the 3rd. I've been working on your book for rather. So I have to write the 3rd, but we're going to create special editions of the 1st and 2nd that will be ones that I own the rights to completely, and that they will help distribute. And they're going to help me distribute the 1st and 2nd in the meantime. And then, I'll be picked up for the 3rd. So
that's so cool. I'm seriously so proud of you. That's badass.
It was the craziest thing. I had reached out to the publisher months ago with my pitch, and then never heard anything. And I just kind of let it go and figured I'd focus on this because this at the time was way more important. And I got the 2nd book out and ready. And then he emailed me last week and he was like, I didn't realize I never sent this email. It's been sitting in my drafts the whole time. Can you meet tomorrow? And
That's
I was like,
insane.
I will make it work. Like,
Yeah.
so luckily I had the most supportive boss because I was like, hey, totally last minute, but I have a meeting at 10 a.m. this morning. I'm meeting with a publisher, and he was like, oh, you are? And I
That's
was like,
so
yes.
cool.
And I came out of that. He was actually, so our attorney was actually talking to all of his brothers in the hallway, and I came out of the meeting with the publisher, and I just sat down at my desk and started working because he's talking to his brothers, and he stopped talking to his brothers. He's like, wait, is it good news? Was it a good meeting? And I was like, yes, I just didn't want to interrupt you. Like, you have important shit you're doing.
Right. That's amazing. Freaking cool. I love that you're working with people who support you too. That's a cool environment to be in.
It is. It makes me a little nervous. He doesn't know about the podcast. Well, he knows I do it, but he doesn't know much about it. But he's really LDS, and I super respect that. But my books are very not something that he could read. And he started reading my book, and I was like, you are not going to like my book, dude. You might think a little differently.
um, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely have it on my LinkedIn that I'm in a podcast, but I don't have the name of it on there for those same reasons.
I talk about it. I don't. They know that what I listen to is romance and stuff. I don't think he
Right.
has put two and two together that my book might be like that.
Oh, God help him when he comes to those scenes. That's
I know he read the first 6 pages, which the first 6 pages are really mellow.
yeah. That's
No,
awesome.
he's super supportive, and it's been really amazing. But yeah, I'm just a little anxious if he decides to purchase the whole book. But the publisher was like, "I'm buying your book. I want to read your book," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
So cool. I'm so happy for you. Now your book gets to go on. I mean, we already knew that with Amazon, people were going to read and listen to it, but now I feel like it's going to hit so many more people. You're going to see it's going to hit so many more eyes and hands than it would have just being on Amazon, and that's so cool.
I'm super excited for that. I was really anxious when I first released it that, I didn't want to know what people's thoughts of it were.
Yeah, I'm
And then
sure.
I had one TikTok that got 4,000 views, and everybody who read it from the TikTok seemed to love it. So that made me excited. Not all of them left reviews, which I'm totally down for. I'm not, makes me anxious. But I love that people do enjoy it, and so now I'm less nervous about being out there, I guess.
Good. I'm glad. That's very cool. I'm glad that you wanted to announce that because I wanted to hear more about it. And I think it's really cool that our listeners get to hear that too.
I'm super excited. Now I just need this to take off and my book to take off, and then I'm good.
Yeah, that's on me. I need to get better at the social media.
That is not on you because we could both be a little better on some things. But we're on Apple Music now. We're getting there.
Yeah, we are on Apple Music now.
Welcome to our Apple Music listeners.
Heck yeah. I forgot about that a little bit. Welcome. I'm glad to have you. It's been a long time coming trying to make that freaking work.
I literally spent an hour in a chat room with Apple support trying to get them to approve our account.
That's so wild.
And the first guy hung up on me. Just disconnected from the chat. That's when I texted you. It was like, this is the stupidest thing. I'm so mad because I
would have left a negative review.
He literally, I almost did, but he literally was like, give me a couple minutes to check on your issue. And I was like, okay. And 3 minutes later, I get that you've been disconnected notification. And I was like, bruh.
Well, now that we're past that.
Yeah.
Apple Music.
But yes,
Spotify.
we are there. Apple, Spotify. Actually, now that we're on Apple and on Spotify, I think we're pretty much available on any platform because they push out to others. So
yep, the only one that we are still working on is Castbox, I believe is what it's called. The other podcast platform. And it was having technical difficulties when I tried to set it up before. And then we had life happened. So
Yeah.
get back to that one.
um, we're also, I have an account set up for us on Good Pods, so you can see us there as well.
Very cool. Okay.
So you can interact with us too. That's like a social media platform for podcasters. So feel free to interact with us there. And when I remember to download the phone on my, or the app on my phone, rather than just check it while I'm at work. Yeah.
Text it to me. I'll download it too.
Yes, I will. And the login information and everything. Yes. Maddie didn't know I set that one up. That was a
I was
surprise.
gonna say I wasn't aware of that one, but I'm sure it'll be great.
I'm super excited. And we're working real hard. This is something that me and Maddie really want to push forward. So
Yeah.
is there anything else on your TBR you wanted to talk about?
I don't think so. We kind of hit a lot of mine just due to them also being on our conjoined TBR. So
I know we have a lot on the conjoined. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, for the most part, I find books through TikTok and Facebook. So
same.
that's 90%
That's
of it.
mainly how I'm finding mine as well.
We should make a. Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this in the podcast. Let us know in the comments if you think this would be useful. We should make our TBR public on the website.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Okay. I was like, because I have that page where we have all of the like the meet the authors where all the authors are. If you haven't checked out our website, I highly recommend it because I make sure to link all of the authors that we've listened to.
Yep.
And you click on the image for their book and it takes you to their website, and then if you click on listen to our take, it takes you to the episode regarding that book. But I think it'd be fun to do a TBR list very similar to that.
I think so too. I think that would be fun.
Remind me.
That way
I don't have a piece of paper in front of me.
I mean, if enough of you, not even enough of you, if we hear from some of you, we're going to take your recommendations into consideration, especially. So if you want to give us book recs, or if you see one on the TBR and you're like, that's the one that I want to hear next week, let us know.
For sure. Yeah. We do this just as much for ourselves as we do for our listeners. So
yep. And we have a blast doing it. So
heck yeah. All right. Was there anything else?
I don't think so. I think that was all. And everybody can catch us here in the next few days for the ritual, which this episode will be out afterwards. So that doesn't matter anyway.
I guess. Oh, the next book we're going to be talking about is The Aftermath.
Yes.
The Aftermath by M.K. Ahern. I'm probably butchering that last name. It could be Ahern. It could be Ahern. I'm not 100% sure. But it's a Spencer Reed book. There's the cover for those of you who can see it.
We will make sure to get it updated on the website. I'm sure that Kyla will get the author put on there, and then I will make sure to post something on social media as well, so you guys can see the cover of the book at least. So
yes. Well, everybody, love you all. And thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe. It's super, super important.
See you guys next week.